I'm going to give you the key facets behind the nutrition of an NFL linebacker, and we're going to start right now. What's up, everybody? It's Dane Miller from GarageStrength.com, and if this is your first time to the channel and you're interested in being a freak athlete, you want to run faster, you want to get stronger, you want to be more explosive, make sure that you like, you subscribe, and you ring that notification bell so we can help you become a champion. So working with athletes of many different backgrounds has provided me a nice introspective look into what goes into actually fueling all of these various different athletes. And one of the biggest challenges that I was faced in my coaching career was when Jan Johnson came to me after he was released by the Houston Texans and came to me and said, Dane, I've got to get bigger. I've got to maintain my speed. I've got to maintain my explosiveness, but I've got to gain weight. And when Jan came to me, he was walking around about 230 pounds. And he was incredibly weak. Now, one of the things that we had to do was take that step back, and we had to sit there and say, all right, what goes into the development of a linebacker? We know that he's got to be very, very fast on a lateral basis, so we've got to train that aspect. We know that he's got to be really strong because he's going to be engaging with running backs. He's going to be engaging with different linemen from different angles, so he's got to have that absolute strength. So we've got to make sure we can develop his muscular strength from a very high performance standard. And then on top of that, we also know that he's got to have endurance so that late in a game, he can still put out a tremendous amount of power. So from a coaching perspective, I was sitting there thinking, all right, we got to focus on his speed at least 3 days a week. We've got to focus on developing his speed in multiple different planes 3 days a week. And then on top of that, he's got to be in the weight room 6 days a week so that we can try and really develop his strength. We can try and add 50 pounds to his clean, which is what we did. We can try and add over 60 pounds to his back squat, over 50 pounds to his bench press to make him stronger, to make him more explosive, and help him gain weight, all while increasing his speed on the field. But what comes into play here is that his nutrition has to be on point. You can't do this volume of training to train like an NFL linebacker. You can't eat like a middle schooler. You've got to eat like a world-class athlete because that's what you are. And so here's where we're going to dive into those 4 key aspects behind the nutrition of an NFL linebacker. Now we know right off the bat that in the beginning, Jan came to us weighing 230 pounds, and we knew he had to get into a caloric surplus. Now, this is a challenge. We've got a guy who's training 6 days a week in the weight room, and he's also doing 3 days of speed work. So that's a lot of calories. He's already a hard gainer. Typically, he tends to be taller and a little bit leaner. So for us to gain 10 to 12 pounds, we need to calculate where that caloric surplus would be. And that's an absolute key point behind him gaining weight, but without him gaining too much weight and getting fat and being slow. We need to make sure it's calculated and it's over a long period of time, 12 to 14 weeks. That next key step, we know he's going to be taking a beating in the weight room. We know that he's going to be lifting quite a bit more than he's used to. That's how we were able to gain 30, 40, 50 pounds to his clean. Where he came to us, he could not even clean 300 pounds. Now he can power clean 300 pounds for sets of 5 in 30 seconds. And some of the key aspects behind that is his recovery and how he's had a high protein diet. We've got to make sure that if we're training linebackers or high performance studs, they're getting at least 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight.
All right, just got done working out. Now I'm gonna see what we gotta eat for lunch here. So, I got my chicken already cooked. Those 3 pieces on there. Gotta get carbs in 2. Potatoes. And then boom, salad already made, because it's a lot easier to heat it up than sit here and cook it all the time.
And then we also got to recognize that fat is not the devil, right? A lot of people think fat's this horrible thing, but fat helps us get excess calories very easily. It tastes good. It helps our food taste good. And when we're trying to eat in a caloric surplus, it's easier to add some fats in there to make food taste a little bit better. And then people want to eat a little bit more food. And then on top of that, it's a key component behind recovery. If we can get 80, 90, 100 grams of fat in during the day, now that's going to also help with recovery because it's going to contribute to that caloric surplus. And on top of that, a lot of high protein foods. Think about if we're talking about a rump roast, something that is a large piece of meat that also has a decent amount of fat on it. It can help contribute to that high protein. It can help contribute to that fat for excess calories, which in turn gives us the caloric surplus. And then finally, we know that Jan needs a ton of carbohydrates to fuel him throughout his running sessions, to fuel him throughout his lifting sessions, to help him feel energetic, to help him feel that pump, to help him feel more explosive. We know that he needs to get a ton of carbs. And now that brings us into a lot of people say, oh, well, if he's eating a lot of carbs, he's gonna be fat. No, as long as we're managing his caloric surplus to a very precise degree, he's not going to get fat. Instead, because of the amount of carbs he's getting and that high protein, now he's going to be able to recover quicker, which is going to lead to a faster increase in his strength and a faster increase in his power development. And ultimately, from that caloric surplus, he will slowly inch up and gain weight while he's tremendously improving the lifts that he's focusing on to improve his performance as a linebacker. So all this stuff is really, really challenging. It's really, really detailed work that we've got to piece together from the perspective of his strength work, his speed work, and his nutrition work. And what we've done is we put together an entire document for free so you can see exactly what Jan eats throughout a day. You can see exactly what an NFL linebacker eats throughout an entire day to help him recover from this intense training. And you can click on the link down below to download this free document that goes into detail behind exactly how Jan's macros are set out throughout the entire day, what his protein intake is, what his fat intake is, what his carbohydrate intake is, and then you can see the exact foods that Jan eats for breakfast, his snacks, for post-workout, for lunch, for dinner. You can see exactly how an NFL linebacker eats by clicking on the link down below and downloading this document to help you on your nutrition journey. If you want more information behind sports performance training, you can head over to garagestrength.com and pick up any specialty-based program designed to help you get faster, be more explosive, be more agile, jump higher. If you want more videos on nutrition, you can click on this card right here. Until next time, guys, peace.